But Jose's not the only one. Thousands and thousands more immigrants will be crossing from Presidio into Ojinaga during the next few months, and residents here aren't thrilled about it. They're worried there won't be enough jobs, and they fear the possibility of violence. For most of the guys here, just like myself, it's their first time firing something like an AR-15, but once they finish, they say it's something that they'll probably never forget. But I want to show you this substance. Although it was washed off of the mailbox in the cars, there's still some of it left inside this mailbox here. It's a little bit difficult to see, but I'm going to wipe some of this up on this black glove. You can take a closer look. Once again, it is a lung and skin irritant. The State Fire Marshal's office says that whether they're in buildings or vehicles, fire extinguishers should be inspected each year. But the state has no ability to enforce that. So they say that ultimately, it's up to the city to watch itself. The fence here at the Humane Society is about 6 feet tall, and according to the directors, a drop from that high for a small dog can actually be fatal. Please tell me they'll typically see maybe one bullet hole, maybe two bullet holes during a drive-by shooting like this, but I want to show you exactly how many there were in this case. You can count them for yourself. One right here, another up here, another even higher. Come on down over here, you can see another 15 to 20 rounds were fired into this house last night. It's a shooting that neighbors are calling a tragedy. Not just about the slides, not just about the railings or the monkey bars, but also some of the safety issues. For example, this ground surface here currently is made out of sand. They're going to be getting rid of this sand altogether and putting in a nice, safer mulch-like material that's made out of a wood fiber that's going to make for a lot softer landings for whenever the kiddos fall down. Even on the outside here of this playground, this concrete surface is going to be replaced. Just to my right here, you can see a tumbleweed, very large size, just about the size of a car, floating down the interstate, which could lead to some dangerous driving conditions. But for now, the wind is very fierce out here on the interstate. Well, take a look at this fire extinguisher here. It's the same kind you'll find in almost every city police vehicle. Right here on this tag is where you mark down the date when it was last inspected. Problem is, last year a teenage girl died in a fiery car crash right here behind me, just off Loop 250 in Midland. Police arrived and tried to put the fire out, but according to one man who saw it all, their fire extinguishers didn't work. As he looks at these photos of his late daughter, Richard Corley can't help from choking up. 18-year-old Ariel Brooke Corley was killed 7 months ago in a fiery car crash.
The car burst into flames. She was burned beyond where I could view her body.
Months after the crash, Corley remains overwhelmed, just thinking about the loss of Ariel, his youngest daughter.
It's been a struggle. We'll remember her as the sunshine of our life. She never forgot to tell us she loved us.
But Corley says that even more disturbing than the death of his daughter is that he believes he could have seen her one more time if it weren't for an equipment failure.
I need a fire extinguisher. Need a fire extinguisher. We got a young lady that's trapped. The officer had tried to use this fire extinguisher, and it was just dead.
The night of the crash, Tom Netherland was first on the scene. He saw the car in flames as he was driving by in his 18-wheeler. He stopped, then pulled the driver and a female passenger out of the car, but Ariel was still trapped in the back. So Netherland took his truck's fire extinguisher and tried desperately to put out the fire. Midland police arrived next. By then, Netherland's extinguisher was all out, but the fire wasn't.
I had ran to that officer and had grabbed a fire extinguisher and had come back, and that fire extinguisher was also dead.
The flames kept raging until the fire department arrived minutes later, too late to reach 18-year-old Ariel Corley. When the sun came up, some revealing evidence was also brought to light. 2 fire extinguisher tags were found among the charred remains, both belonging to extinguishers that hadn't been inspected for years. One was last checked in 2008, the other in 2005. The back of the tags read COM, or City of Midland. But how could 2 city fire extinguishers go uninspected? They have to be inspected by law, or so we thought. So we called the city to ask how this could happen and were referred to Medessa Fire Extinguishers, the company hired to inspect Midland's equipment.
They have to be done once a year. And we go out once a year to all the different city departments and check all the fire extinguishers.
But if all fire extinguishers have to be checked, how did these 2 end up not working?
Vehicles are kind of funny. No matter how hard we try, we cannot catch 100% of the trucks or 100% of the, that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, where we might have missed one for a couple of years and catch the following year. You just never know.
So if vehicle fire extinguishers are not kept up to date, someone must have the authority to regulate inspection. Otherwise, you might be at risk every time you drive. We began to work the phones, calling county officials and asking whether they regulate the city's extinguishers, only to find out they do not. Next, we checked with TxDOT, OSHA, the National Fire Protection Association, and the State Fire Marshal's office. This is one of the fire extinguishers found right here inside our own television studios, required to be inspected once per year by law, and just checked off on this tag. But simply step outside the building, put the same fire extinguisher inside a vehicle, and suddenly, zero legal mandate for inspection. Which brings our investigation back to James Hahn.
When we go around and do our yearly, we catch any problems, like maybe the extinguisher has developed a leak and it's not full of pressure.
Hahn, a retired 20-year veteran of the Midland Fire Department, acknowledges that without inspection, things can go wrong. But he continues to admit their inspection record is far from perfect.
And there's also a possibility that we might miss one every single year.
We approached police and the city about the faulty fire extinguishers right after the incident. At the time, they told us they looked into it, but that no malfunction was reported by the officers. And no difficulties are listed here on this police accident report.
I have no reason to make no kind of a false statement on this. I have nothing against the city. I have nothing against the city police department. So now I'm just telling you exactly what I seen. I did see a lady in trouble. Fire was the biggest part of the trouble. And 2 police officers with fire extinguishers that were not working. A very traumatic, most traumatic thing I've ever had in my life. Something I will never, I'll remember for the rest of my life. I hope I never see it again.
And the evidence suggests that Netherland's right. For Ariel's father, that's unthinkable.
I didn't get to say goodbye to her body. And that, you know, that's something I think about, not every day, but a lot. And it bothers me because I didn't get to have a farewell to touch her and say goodbye. And I don't know, even at that point, if she couldn't have been revived and brought back to life if the fire had been put out.
Months later, Corley and Netherland are still left wondering why no one regulates these fire extinguishers. Because when even one falls through the cracks, your life could be at risk.
That's something that I dwell on and think about. And it causes great concern for me. They had non-working fire extinguishers, and that one was expired for at least 3 to 4 years. You know, step up and say, hey, we're going to fix it today.
Jose Noe's been living here 4 days. He calls this shelter home after getting caught without papers in Fort Davis and being bused to Ojinaga.
When they see the 3 guys, they call immigration. Immigration come for my 2 friends and me.
Jose left his real home in Chiapas years ago and crossed into America for food and a job. Now he plans to cross right back where he came from, back to the U.S.
But me, I go back to America. Whatever die or me, I don't care.
You don't care?
I working over there.
But Jose's not the only one. Thousands and thousands more immigrants will be crossing from Presidio into Ojinaga during the next few months, and residents here aren't thrilled about it. They're worried there won't be enough jobs, and they fear the possibility of violence.
Well, what we fear right now is that people that is coming from the United States, if they don't have the means to go back to the places where they belong, they are going to stay here.
Jose Spencer, owner of the Casa de Huéspedes motel, is concerned about the U.S. government's plan to relocate thousands of illegal aliens in Ojinaga.
What characterizes Ojinaga is that it's a peaceful town. And you can go walking anytime, in day or night, and nobody's going to bother you.
Ojinaga is insulated from drug violence now, but add 5,000 willing coyotes or smugglers, and that could change.
The United States, no more work for illegals, I think.
Cesar Alfredo Ronquillo fled to Albuquerque, New Mexico years ago. He was caught. Now he runs the shelter, which is a saving grace for those like Jose Noe. Jose's fed for now. He says he's trapped in a state of turmoil, and for the time being, living in a city that's hoping to avoid just that.
The safety of the town right now is going to go away because of that.
Reporting in Ojinaga, Mexico, Beau Berman, CBS 7 News. You probably don't associate that sound with tax, but as the government attempts to shine light on the dangers of indoor tanning, salon owners everywhere are turning a shade of red.
This is a concern for a new business owner and a new tanning salon owner, that this is an additional cost to them.
Electric Sun.
Say hello to a 10% tax on tanning. And it's customers who may suffer at the register.
I know that I can overcome it, but my customers that are coming in here are really mad. They know it's going to come out of their pocket.
I don't think that tanning is enough to cause a huge healthcare issue.
The American Cancer Society disagrees. The use of tanning beds is dangerous to your health and should be avoided, their doctors say. Bronzing lotion, eye protection, cash. As more and more salon owners complain about the increasing number of taxes on their service, now there's one more thing tanners might want to add to their checklist. But after a 16.5 age limit set in September and a 24-hour tan limit also signed into law, Electric Sun owner Lisa Crosby says regulations are becoming a cancer to the industry.
It just seems like that everything that they're talking about in Congress passing, you know, these days it involves the tanning industry.
And while she'd like to put the taxes to bed, it's tanning customers who will ultimately feel the heat, paying some extra green before they can get bronzed.
To tax independent companies like this is not fair.
Now, the tanning tax is part of the new health care reform bill and takes effect July 1st. According to government estimates, it should generate as much as $2.7 billion over the next decade. Reporting live in the studio, Beau Berman, CBS 7 News. As parents poured into Harmony's future school building for an information session, West Texas Patriots members stood outside handing out flyers that encourage parents to research the school online. The Patriots believe the Harmony schools have connections to radical Islam. Continued research of our own found that's unlikely, as Congressman Randy Nagebauer supports Harmony. President George W. Bush himself invited these Harmony Academy students to the White House in 2008.
On the website.
Which website?
What is the name of it? I've completely forgot the name of it.
Do you think maybe you should know the name of the website before you spread this information to parents who are just trying to find out about a school?
Well, it's really, to me, yes, probably. I will admit that.
Visit the Patriots website and they provide links to personal blogs, which back up their claims about Harmony with links to other blogs, which in turn use other blogs as their proof.
Who's the source that claims that they're connected to Fethullah Gulen?
I don't think I'm going to say that.
Why?
I just don't think I'm going to.
Do you know who the source is?
But I'll sure send you an email later.
After a presentation to about 100 parents and children, Harmony Superintendent Soner Tareem addressed accusations of ties to Islam.
We have absolutely no connection whatsoever, and we have one of the highest rated charter school in the nation.
Contrary to the Patriots' claim that the books Harmony uses are printed by Fethullah Gulen, Harmony only uses books from a list approved by the TEA. Patriots also said that almost all Harmony teachers were Turkish or Asian, but tonight we found several teachers from Lubbock's Harmony location that are white and American-born.
Well, it's something that I teach my kids, is that you can't just Google something on the internet and find out everything that you need to know about a particular topic. You need to dig a little deeper and, be able to back things up and use primary sources.
Mary Lou Burney has a Harmony entrance interview set up for her grandson tomorrow.
As a responsible parent, I would have to look at would be to see what they have in the way of their books.
Fethullah Gulen, he's an Islamic extremist. That's what we have read. Okay,
what has he done that's made him an extremist?
Well, just pushing his views and things, just
what
like
are his views?
Well, that's a kind of a difficult question to answer.
Opposite from the reputable evidence in favor of the Harmony schools, the West Texas Patriots appear to base their accusations on blogs without sources.
This kind of an experience and this kind of grades and improvement would certainly be an asset for him.
That's why some parents say they now believe in Harmony.